Entrepreneurs, sleeping well? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. You know, it's the little things that make a big difference in life, especially when you're talking about the personal journey of an entrepreneur, of a business owner, the person that's making the things happen. And I was getting ready to talk with you this evening and found myself dozing off quite a bit early. And I'm like, I'm never this tired this early. What is going on? And thought back and looked over the past 48 hours or so, and I realized that yesterday I did something that I haven't done for years. I really haven't. Okay. Every once in a while, I will grab one of those tiny, tiny, smallest pieces of candy and eat it when my kids have some from Halloween or Christmas or what have you. And not very often. And the reason is after I really cut back on the amount of sugar and carbs that I take in. I just now don't crave it that much. But every once in a while, I'll have a piece. No big deal. Nothing. It doesn't do anything to me anymore. At least nothing too visible. Well, yesterday, for some reason, and it was one just lack of easily edible food in the house, and just I don't know, string of things. I ended up gorging myself on Halloween candy. Just I freely admit it. I had a way more than I've had. I mean, probably well over a year's worth because I don't eat it. I had over a few years worth in one afternoon because at one point I said, well, I've eaten so much at this point, there's no reason to stop. So I'm going to condense the misery as much as possible, the pleasure and the misery, into a short period of time as possible. Surprisingly enough, it did not hit me too hard, except today. I have been extremely tired. It's caught up with me in that way. It's the dip that comes afterwards, And so sleep, it made me realize, once again, sleep is a major deal. And I've gotten really, really good at handling my sleep and regulating it over the past few years. And just knowing a few things that make it overwhelming and that make it to where I'm not sleeping enough or I'm sleeping too much or too deep. I'll just a handful of tips that I've learned over the years. And most of the stuff you already know, but sometimes it just takes somebody tapping you on the shoulder and reminding you. At least for me, it did. And it comes down to, what are the things that allow me to sleep so that I don't have to worry about it the rest of the time? And there's a few things I do. One, if I'm exercising regularly, then sleep is not an issue. I don't sleep as much when I exercise, and when I do sleep, I sleep well. I get it out of the way, and it's interesting, when I exercise a lot, I don't need to nap. But this is the second thing. If you're not exercising, if you don't have that built in somewhere in your weekly schedule, you probably should nap. Just toss in a nap in the middle of the day somewhere. For me, it's in the afternoon. And literally 15-20 minutes, that's all I need. I've gotten really good at power naps. Now, I've met people that say they can't do a power nap, but the power nap is just a quick nap that just energizes you and gets you through the rest of the day. And I've been doing that for the past 6 months or so because I haven't been exercising. But exercise really does help. But if not, you find a way to fit in a little bit more sleep. Another thing is, I don't eat late. I stopped eating late. I stopped eating. I'll skip dinners. Me personally, I've been able to get to the point to where I can skip dinners and stop eating somewhere in the early afternoon, and I won't eat for the rest of the night. Now I'll drink water, and I may even have a little bit of coffee. If you're sensitive to caffeine, that's another thing. If you get yourself too wired too late in the day, you're going to have a tough time getting to sleep. when you finally do get to sleep, you're going to sleep too long. You're going to feel like garbage in the morning, or you're not going to get enough because you got to get up early to go do the next thing. So make sure you're getting enough sleep. Make sure that sleep is quality sleep. Understanding having a couple supplements available to you can help. I've got a supplement that I use that has a little bit of melatonin and a little bit of all these other natural things. But even if they're natural, you can become dependent on it. Just realize that. But if you're traveling, like when I travel and so forth, I like to have something like that, because sometimes it's tough with the flights, especially if you're traveling past certain time zones and all that. I like to really pay attention to that and try to keep up on it as best as possible. You're always going to have issues, things that pop up you can't do anything about. People have babies, things like that really throw your sleep cycle off. But if you don't get a handle on your sleep, it will catch up to you, because it affects all your other health issues in your body. Okay? Burning fat, staying young, all these, so many things go back to having quality sleep. It feels like, especially when you're younger, that you can have bad sleep for a long period of time. It'll catch up with you. Don't do that. Don't try and, burn the candle on both ends, as they say. It's just not worth it. Find a way to fix your problems with sleep. There's natural ways. It's the simplest ways that have made the biggest difference for me in my life. Hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Hey, I've got a book, 9 Ways to Amazon-Proof Your Business. If you're looking for more broad-based strategies to be able to use in your business that really make you stand out, make it to where you're competition-proof, even if that competition's Amazon.com, you go get a free copy at AmazonProofBook.com. That's all the time I got for tonight. You have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow. Get out there and let the magic happen.